Demonstrators in a divided Libya. In the east of the country, in Benghazi, protesters loyal to General Khalifa Haftar voiced their frustrations on Friday, chanting no to al-Sarraj and no to revolutionaries. The protesters accused the UN-backed administration in Tripoli of using income from oil exports to buy support from foreign mercenaries.
Our oil revenue goes to the wrong central bank in Tripoli. What does the central bank do? It sends it to the militias, to the mercenaries, and the rest of it, whatever is left, to corruption.
Meanwhile, in Tripoli, the home of the UN-backed government of national unity, there was also large demonstrations. Many supporters of Fayez al-Sarraj's administration said while they were in favor of peace, they rejected the planned peace talks in Berlin.
After 9 months of fighting, they say that there will be a meeting in Berlin. But now we have the power and are able to return Haftar back to where he came from. I myself will not agree with any meeting, nor will I be accepting any dictators.
Nevertheless, both Fayez al-Sarraj and General Haftar are expected to attend Sunday's peace talks in Berlin. And so too are two other men whom observers consider to be the decisive players in the conflict: Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, who supports Sarraj, and Russia's Vladimir Putin, who backs Haftar. The goal of the Berlin conference is to turn the fragile ceasefire both Libyan leaders have agreed to into a long-term solution and halt foreign military interference in the country. But that could be a tall order considering the level of international interest in the country and the various nations with competing interests there.
Joining me now in the studio is journalist Merkel, who's been reporting from Libya for several years now. He's in Berlin for the conference. Thanks so much for joining us, Merkel. We have these two rivals who are intensely vying for control of Libya. And, you know, they're going to be attending this conference and a raft of others. The question is, how crucial is this conference for sustained peace?
I think Libya is just a step away before descending in a real proxy war where you could have Egyptian troops and Turkish troops facing each other at the front lines south of Tripoli. Let's not forget there are many more mercenaries on Haftar's side from Sudan and Chad, and we have now an unknown number of Syrian fighters in Tripoli. So the Berlin conference, I think, is the last chance before Libya could be something like Syria, which it is not now yet.
The last chance?
I would say so.
I should say it's unclear whether General Haftar will actually appear at these talks this weekend. But in the meantime, can you tell us a little bit more about who he is?
I met Haftar in 2012 when he was leading a small group of officers that were not happy that most of the ministries, the Minister of Interior and Defense, were taken by revolutionaries. People, as he said it, as he put it, were fighting in Afghanistan. So it is a bit the fight between two worlds, the revolutionaries and the army, the concept of the army. And he was leading then a militia group that was formed into a military alliance against Ansar Sharia and militants in Benghazi. So he is representing the idea of a nation that is run by, let's say, dictatorship-style police and army, but with an order. And we have in Tripoli the opposite idea, let's say the revolutionaries who think that the change in the country has to be done through local governance. I think that both didn't confirm their arrival is part of a diplomatic game. Both still have demands. Sarraj wants Haftar to remove his troops back to the front lines of the 4th of April. And Haftar wants Sarraj to remove the militias from Tripoli. So I think they certainly are hoping that the German diplomats are under a lot of pressure and will demand compromises.
It's an impasse, obviously, at this point. The main goal of this summit seems to be to try to achieve some kind of longing ceasefire, but more prickly issues, for example, like a power-sharing agreement, don't appear to be on the table. Is that right?
The Berlin process was, at the beginning, when it started in last summer, had the idea of several phases, and the conference in Berlin was organized as something for the foreign players. But I think the dynamic is already was so fast in the recent weeks, and the need for comprehensive agreement to tell the fighters on the ground there is a way out is too high. So I think there's more needed than just a signature under a ceasefire agreement.
Merkel Kilbert, thank you so much for that. Appreciate it.